Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kat. I recently went on vacation to Hawaii on Oahu, and so I thought it was fitting to paint one of the landscapes of the areas that I was in. I just wanted to share a bit of what I did on vacation, just because it's nice to let you guys know. And some of you might not be able to take vacations like this. I was really lucky to be able to do this. It didn't cost me nearly as much as it would have if we had to pay for everything because we stayed with some family. And it was a great experience, and I love sharing those experiences with other people. While we were in Oahu, we stayed in Waianae, which is on the west side of the island, so there isn't much rain there. It's not the more touristy part of the island, but we stayed with my boyfriend's family. And honestly, I really liked that we did it that way because we were able to see more of like the actual island life instead of the higher end areas where people were just there to vacation. There were so many beaches on the west side of the island. Pretty much the whole side was just a continuous beach that was open to the public. So we got to go swimming in the ocean every single day. The place we stayed was just about 5 minutes from a beach, so we would go down there and watch the sunsets. And there were quite a few really good restaurants that we went to. We did a few touristy things as well. Our last night we stayed in Waikiki Beach and went on a catamaran ride and had Mai Tais, and that was amazing. That was our last night though, so some of the things we did earlier on, we went snorkeling. We went to a restaurant that was on the beach, had a bar. I wasn't able to because of a recent ankle injury, but my boyfriend got to try surfing. It was really cool to at least watch him while he tried it out. I wish I could have participated, but I just couldn't. We also went to the North Shore, which had a really beautiful beach. We went into a military base. And we got to swim in the most beautiful water that I've ever seen. It was clear blue. The waves weren't super choppy or anything there. They were very gentle once you got out past the break. And let me tell you guys, I could just sit in the ocean and float for hours on end. It's so peaceful to go out into the water and relax. Once you're in the actual ocean, especially on that side of the United States, you practically float without even trying. So if someone isn't the best at floating, that's the place to go swimming. Another day we went inland to go to a freshwater swimming hole that has like a waterfall going into it. It's one of the only places of fresh water on Oahu. It was very humid. It rained pretty much the whole time, but it was more like a misting. So it was just like constant like air, water in the air. And once we got to the fresh water, oh man, it was beautiful. It was cold and clear, and it tasted really, really good. I know that sounds weird, but when you swim, you might get water in your mouth, but we had to wear life jackets because I guess some people have gotten pushed under the water and drowned because of the rocks and everything. So that's kind of scary, but other than that, it was a great experience. I don't know if all of you know this, but I live in Michigan, so to go from a cold state, especially because we had such a hard winter this past year, to go from that to Hawaii, oh my goodness, it was such a big difference. And the heat there is not like the heat here. I really feel like Michigan has their extremes. In the winter, it's freezing. And then in the summer, it's hot and humid, and there's no escape from the heat when it's hot. Whereas in Hawaii, there's a nice breeze on Oahu, especially even in the areas where it's not as wet, there's still so much wind that it doesn't even matter that it's hot there. If you have your doors open in your house, it cools right off. Whereas in Michigan, the air tends to sit in one place instead of moving around. Now, you may have seen my video for travel art hacks. I did get to use that kit, especially on the plane on the way to Hawaii, because our plane ride there was 11 hours. And that was just the direct flight to Hawaii. We had to do a connecting flight first and then take the flight to Hawaii. And it was 11 hours. It was the longest 11 hours of my life. And I couldn't really sleep because it was during the day, so I wasn't really tired. So I did paint some things to pass the time, and I did use it a little bit on the island as well, but once we were on the island, we had so much to do and keep us busy that it kind of slipped my mind. So this is one of the ways that I'm compensating for that, because originally I wanted to actually do a painting on the beach, but this is good too. So a little bit about this painting itself. It was a view from the beach right near where we were staying in Waianae. I can't remember the name of the beach. I only asked what it was a few times because my boyfriend's mom was trying to tell us what everything was, but it's hard to keep track with all the names, especially for a place that you don't live. But this was one of the times that we were watching the sunset. Something that's hard to wrap my mind around is the fact that their sunset was at 7:30, but our sunset back in Michigan was after 9. That's just so crazy to me that Michigan had so much more daylight. I mean, it makes sense because in Michigan you have really short days in the winter. So the sun rises at 7:30 and then it sets at 5:30, which is insane. And then in the summer, it rises at like 6:30 and sets at almost 10. So we have such a huge difference in our day lengths. So when you get to somewhere like Hawaii that's closer to the equator, then you have days that are more stable. So like the sun always rises around 6:30 and it always sets around 7:30. So it's like the perfect amount of daylight for living. And then we went snorkeling, which was probably my favorite thing out of the entire experience. It was really cool because we got to go on this little boat, and then we went out around, I think, the North Shore, if I'm correct. I'm not 100% sure, but we stopped and we got to go in and snorkel, and then we fed some yellow tangs. That was really cool because you could feel like the little beak of the fish as it took the food from you. It was really funny. We also got to see spinner dolphins, and you can hear them in the water when they're talking to each other. It's super cool. You can hear them like chirping and whistling at each other, and they spin around and flip up out of the water. It's really cool to watch. Then we got to see a sea turtle, and it was really cool to just watch him as he, looked for food, and I could have just done that all day long. The trip was really nice, and to be honest, I've traveled a few places before, but never anywhere that warm, never an island, but I could definitely see myself living in that kind of environment. Obviously not anytime soon because, life and stuff, but it's beautiful there, and I highly recommend anyone else going to visit. I hope you guys enjoyed this little story time about my vacation, and I also hope that you guys enjoyed the painting that I did. I honestly think it's one of my best landscapes that I've done in quite some time, because I haven't really sat down and done anything like this in a long time. So it was nice to get back in that element of painting a scene. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, comment down below and tell me what you liked about this video. Did you like the story time? Did you like the painting? Do you want me to post more things like this? Comment down below and let me know. And then if you want to see more things like this or any of my other types of videos, subscribe, and always remember to hit the bell icon when you do that, so you can see when I post. Do it, meow!